to Her Season, the podcast for women who know they're meant for more and are ready to become the happiest, healthiest, hottest, and most successful version of themselves. I'm your host, Georgia Stockton, and this podcast is your place to learn the tools, habits, and mindset shifts that help you step into the best version of yourself. The woman who is confident, who takes care of her mind and body, who goes after big dreams and actually makes them happen. Each week, you're going to hear powerful conversations with successful entrepreneurs, health and wellness experts, and inspiring women sharing real strategies that help you level up your life. Because becoming her doesn't happen by accident. It happens through small, intentional choices every single day. So if you're ready to level up your life and become the woman you know you're capable of being, you're in the right place. This is Her Season. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Her Season podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. You are going to get so much good out of this episode. We have Bailey Braccini joining us today. She is an expert in women's health, specifically hormone health. I am just so excited to learn from you today, Bailey, and I want you to dive in. Tell the girls what all you do, because you do so much, and I am just excited to get to learn from you today. So tell the girls what you do and every little bit about you.
Amazing. Yay. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm Bailey Braccini. I am a women's wellness coach. I own Elevate Wellness Coaching. I'm also Basics times Bay on Instagram, where I share lifestyle, some like daily little tips and tricks. And then I also am an owner of Health and Social Club, and we host wellness events here in Minnesota. So that's kind of all my different buckets. And I just literally love to help empower women feel amazing in their bodies and get them to be chasing their dreams and feeling literally amazing. That is the goal, is like waking up and being so excited for your life and also having a body that reflects that and feels that energy.
Yes. I love the quote. There's a quote. I don't know if you've heard it, Bailey, but it's create a life that you can't wait to wake up to. Have you ever heard that quote?
My gosh, yes. I love it. So good.
Love. So as you can tell, guys, from listening to this and just hearing Bailey speak for the first 20 seconds, you can tell she embodies everything Season is about. And that's why whenever I found Bailey on Instagram, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to have you on. So I am so excited for this episode. And as you know, we're going to start unpacking the current season of your life, Bailey. So I want you to tell us, let's start off on a hot note, okay? With all you know with health, wellness, nutrition, walk us through a day in your life currently. But I want like the nitty gritty, like morning routine. What are we eating? Talk us through it.
Okay. You are asking for it, so I'm going to give it to you. So season of life that I'm in right now, I would say is alignment and surrender. So like both of those words together is just like aligning my life with my goals and also like open hands, allowing God to really take over, but aligning that action. So my day right now looks like waking up with my Hatch alarm clock. There is no phone in my room, like no phone. Phone is downstairs, charging in the laundry room. Do not look at my phone for the first hour of the day. So Hatch goes off. I wake up. I'm putting on my clothes that are set out the night before, no matter what. Could be if it's business attire, if it's workout attire, it is set out. It is ready to go.
Love.
That's a decision I do not have to make. Okay. That's like already simple. And then from there, coming downstairs, I'm going to pour myself water without ice, adding in a lemon. Now that it's nicer here in Minnesota, because Lord, our winters here are not real. So now that it's nicer out, I will go outside within the first like 30 minutes of waking up, getting my eyes into the sunlight.
Yes.
And that is setting the tone for the day for me, for sure. And then I'll come back in, I will journal. So have you heard of morning pages?
Yes, maybe.
Okay. So there's this book, The Artist's Way. If you haven't read it, it's all about how creativity is a spiritual practice. And it allows you to kind of get out of your own way, because we're all creative. Like you'll talk to people and be like, so, are you an artist? Are you artistic? Are you creative? And they say, no, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Or I'm bad at that. And it's like, well, why? Like you're not bad at it. You just don't allow yourself to try it or to practice it to get better at it. You have made up a belief that you're bad at it when you're not actually bad at it. You just haven't given yourself the time to be good at it. And so creativity is allowing yourself to express whatever that looks like. So the morning pages are a way to connect with what's going on in your subconscious mind. So what I notice is there's no prompt. So you don't get to like write about this. It's really just like subconsciously what is coming to mind. So you write, and I tend to write like letters to God, or I'll just be like, hey, like this is what's going on. Sometimes it's like, more negative, sometimes it's more positive, whatever. I always finish with my affirmations. So like my I am
Yes.
statements.
Yes.
And so then I do that, and then I will make breakfast. And this time it's probably like around 7 a.m. where I'm eating. And it always will include some type of egg. And I know people don't like eggs. And I'm like, girl, the choline and the egg yolk, like, come on. We got to get on those, right? I used to
Yes.
be an egg white omelet kind of girl when I was in my crazy fitness era. And my skin was terrible. Like I had no zest in my eyeballs because I was lacking zinc and healthy fats and protein and whatever. So go the full egg when you're going to eat an egg. But anyways, I'll make some kind
Love
of
this. Okay, you're knocking it out of the park right now.
I'll make some kind of like breakfast with eggs, so that I'll use like leftover veggies if I have them for fiber and make like a little veggie egg scramble. I use the R place or the caraway pans because none of
Huge.
that crappy, all that stuff. And usually I'll also have like a little side of yogurt. So I've been into the A2 sheep milk yogurt.
Yes.
I can't do cow dairy, sadly. Cow dairy makes me like crazy. Not actually, but so anyways, I eat my breakfast. And then a few days a week, I have personal training clients. So if I have a personal training client, I'm out the door by like 7:20, 7:15. And then I will go train my clients. And then from there, I go to a coffee shop and I will do my deep work. So I always, every single day, have designated time, at least for 2 hours of deep work time. So that could mean I'm working on progressing a project. That could mean I am working on something for a health and social event. It's really just a safety net in my day to prioritize something in my business that needs my attention. And some days for me, that looks like doing something spur of the moment, like making an Instagram post. Like if I get super passionate about something, I'm like, I got to act on this right now. And that 2 hour window allows me to do that. And it's been so huge for my business. And then after that, I will either go work out, go for a walk, or I will come home and I'll make lunch. So whatever that looks like, I'll either work out, come back, make lunch, and then I have a full afternoon of client calls. So my afternoons are always client calls. I do not take client calls in the mornings because I need that time for myself to get myself good, to be learning, to be growing, to be planning, to be executing, to be in my business, and then also training a few clients. And so I'll have my client calls, and then after client calls, I'll do some admin work if I have anything, and go for a walk, start to make dinner, and then I start like my evening routine. Probably at like 6:30 of just like winding down, turning off my phone, getting off my electronics. I need to replenish myself every single day. Like if I am not taking care of my energy, my mindset, and pouring back into myself, my work is so much of giving that
Yes.
there have been seasons in my life where I have not taken that time for myself, and it directly shows up in how I show up the next day. So yeah, that's kind of like a snippet of a day in the life right now. It's busy, it's back to back. Sometimes it's running from here and there and everywhere, and it's a lot, but it's like so fun. And I know that this is a really big building season in my business. And yeah, so that's kind of my day in the life.
Okay, I love this. I want to unpack and ask you questions of a few things.
Yes.
One, so funny that you say hatch alarm clock. I think I've talked about a hatch alarm clock on every single like me and the guest have talked. A hatch alarm clock has come up somehow.
Yeah.
Like
Sponsor.
hatch.
Sponsor?
Yes. If this is your sign, sponsor season, sponsor Bailey. We love you. But then you said no ice in your water, and you did water with lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Unpack that.
Okay.
Give us the science. Give us the thoughts there.
So I worked with a traditional Chinese medicine doctor for 2 years, and I studied Chinese medicine. I am very passionate about it. It's so interesting to me. And in Chinese medicine, the gut needs to be warm. So we think of the gut and we should think of fire, right? it is a burning fire. And in order for that fire to stay strong, we cannot be putting water on the fire, right? So if you think about ice on a fire, it's going to dim the flame. So we need to keep that fire burning in our stomach in order to have the best digestion, no bloating, being able to properly break down certain foods that we eat. Like it's all so interconnected. And then
Okay.
lemon is just going to support like bile flow. So getting the liver to start flowing. I have some clients that will literally do like their lemon water in the morning and they'll have to use the restroom right after, which is like fab. I'm not necessarily quite that quick, but good for you guys if you are.
Okay, love that. So, girls, if you're listening right now, I want you to know towards the end of this episode, we have time carved out for you. So, if you are experiencing things like fatigue that you can't figure out, hormone type things that you can't figure out, bloating, gut issues, we're going to unpack a lot of that probably throughout this episode, but specifically at the end of this episode, we're just going to go rapid fire. Bailey is going to throw some knowledge at you. So stay listening, stay tuned for that. If that is you, I am just excited for you to be able to get to hear and learn from Bailey throughout this episode. So just wanted to let you know that of what we've got coming. But with that being said, Bailey, you said this is like your surrender season. This is your alignment season.
Mm-hmm.
What has this season of life, like the biggest lesson that you've been learning that it's been teaching you or growing you in a way? I'm
Yeah.
curious about.
So good. There's so many things. I would say, so earlier this year, well, technically October actually, so 2025, but my whole entire face broke out in acne, cystic chronic acne. And after college, I had mold poisoning. And so I'm very familiar with the whole acne situation. I've had acne on and off my entire life. And it's an immune response, acne is, I believe. And so I knew something was out of alignment in my life. And it was, I would say, a little bit of like my heart posture. I was really focused on, am I making enough money? Am I growing the business? I didn't feel like I was ever doing enough. And I had to have a full surrendering because my entire face broke out in acne as a specialist in nutrition in women's health. And so I'm speaking to these women on how to live a healthy lifestyle. And my own body is communicating something else differently to me, that I was not actually healthy. I was not actually well. My face would not have looked like that if things were going well in my body. And so I had to fully surrender. And I had to address things that I didn't want to address, that I was avoiding, whether that was systems that were not organized, whether that was how I felt about my body currently, right? Like little small things that were really adding up that I needed to bring to God and be like, I got to let this go. And I know that I'm perfect just as your daughter, as who I am right now. And I don't need to do anything. I don't need to be anything more than I already am. And why do I feel like I have to do that? And so I actually didn't take clients for a few months, the last few months of 2025, and just really had to like surrender and pour into myself, and find my relationship back with God. And so that really transitioned into this current season of continuing to surrender, continuing to not be so controlling and trust and not worry. In Matthew, it always says like, do not worry, right? Like in Romans of like, do not conform to the patterns of this world. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was conforming and I was getting caught up in something that was not rooted in the identity of daughter of the king. And my business directly took a hit on that because I was not able to continue to keep going. And so I think that's a really good lesson for anyone, is like when we're living in our ego, when we're living in comparison, when we're living in self-doubt, when we're living in criticism, that is not how things grow. That is not abundant. That is also not feminine. And feminine energy is how every good thing begins. How were we born, right? Our mothers and obviously our fathers. We need them both. But the mother, right? It is a feminine energy that births new things. I had to repair that and stop living in my masculine energy, which I got caught back up in, of just go, 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 do, and really come back to, okay, what do we love about working with clients? What do we love about the business? what do we feel like God gave us as a gift that we're supposed to be serving others with? And are we doing that? And if not, what do we need to change and surrender so that we are doing that again? And for me, that looked like last year leaving a Pilates instructing position that I was doing. I loved it. It was so fun for me. But at the end of the day, I was getting caught up a little bit in my appearance and how I looked and what my body looked like. And it was more about that than it was about like actually what I was doing. And so I needed to go take time away, take a step back.
Mhm.
Let's repair this and then we can come back to it. And so yeah, that's a long tangent on that, but
No,
that's the season.
but such a good tangent. Like, I am just replaying that in my head of I've never heard that take, but now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, is that so true? That I'm just going to reiterate what you said, that when you are in your feminine energy, it's feminine energy that births new things. And I think that's so true because, like, I feel like I'm in my most creative state when I'm in that feminine energy of myself. And I've never thought of it that way. So
Mhm.
that's
Like
such a cool
when we
take.
ovulate and we are like full fertility, you know, as females, that is our most prime time of our lives, of our month to be knowing like what we should be doing, to be giving out energy. Like it is when our greatest ideas come to us. It's when we're most attractive. Like there's so many layers to it. And when we aren't living in tune with our cycle or we're ignoring that, it will show up in our life, and I was proof of that.
Wait, I am literally smiling from ear to ear because if you know me, my friends, like, it's a running joke how much I talk about my cycle. And I'm like, guys, I'm in my part right now. Or like, guys, I'm in the bad part. You know, like,
Mhm.
I am like so in tune and such a firm believer of your cycle. And
It's
like,
so real.
okay, so can we just pause for a second? I'm like, this episode is going to be, just let me preface, guys. There's so much that I want to ask you that this episode might be a little herky jerky convo all over the place, but I'm like, this is too good to skip over. So, in the current season of your life, we'll stay on track. What do you do right now for cycle syncing and, living in tune with your cycle? And what should girls know if they're like, Georgia, what are y'all talking about right now?
Mhm.
Maybe give them a little brief, like,
Yeah.
overview,
Yeah,
and then give them, like, what do you do right now to help you with that?
for sure. So, when we menstruate, that's when we're on our period, right? We have our cycle, our uterine lining is shedding, like, we're getting rid of the old. We are literally think of it as like a detox, right? Like, it is so healthy for you to bleed. And so you're menstruating and then done with menstruation, you're
And
gonna
I'm
go
gonna
ahead. Yeah. Oh,
pause you
what were you gonna
real
say?
quick,
Yeah.
and not to interrupt,
Yeah.
just a second here, is because I think in our world there was almost like I found myself self caught up in it when I was, like, in high school, maybe
Mhm.
early college, is I was not eating enough, was not fueling my body well enough, and, like, I took pride in not having a period because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so skinny, I'm so little," like, and I, like, was in a mindset, which is a terrible mindset, and I just look back and I'm like, "Oh, I just feel for that girl
Mhm.
in that time." But, like, if I had a period or bled, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, like, am I getting too chunky, too chubby?" Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "This but if anybody is in that same mindset, I wanna, like, second, and that's why I wanted to pause, is, like, what you just said, that it is so healthy to bleed, and, like, it
Oh, it's
is
so healthy. It's a
if you're
flex.
not, it's unhealthy."
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so I had hypothalamic amenorrhea. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Mm-mm.
So you lose your cycle for 3 plus months or more, right? And so I did not have my cycle for almost 3 years. 3 years of no period. And I would go to the doctor and they would be like, "You are gonna have like osteoporosis, like all these crazy things." All they would tell me to do was gain 20 pounds of fat, right? They were like, "Go home, eat as much as you can every single day." Now, that is not what you say to someone that struggles with eating and the way their body looks. Like, that is not the way to go about getting to a healthy body weight. To be a healthy body weight, you need to fuel your body properly. And when your body is well fed, right, nourished, your cells are nourished, your brain has enough fuel to function, to communicate with your sex organs. Like, you will look good. You will not have to worry about what you're eating because your hormones will naturally be in balance, which means that your fat ratio, like the disposition of where the fat will be on your body, will literally naturally go to your chest, which is what we want, right? We're getting boob
Yes,
jobs. It will
absolutely.
naturally go to your glutes. Hello, we're getting butt implants. Like all of these things, if you are well nourished, it will naturally go to your cheeks. So you'll have a nice defined face, right? We're doing all these things with injectables, with peptides, with things outside of our body, and we're forgetting that we were made by the highest power in
Yes.
creation that literally designed us for a reason. And when you're living in tune with your body and with nature and with your spirit, with God, your creator, you will not struggle with the body, right? Because if you're eating real food and you're taking care of your mind and your body and your spirit, your body weight will naturally balance out. Now, I am not saying that it's easy, right? I am not saying that struggles are a real thing. I have struggled myself with body image, with what my body looks like, with my body weight, with wanting to be a specific size. I understand the societal pressures, but there are ways that we can make it easier on you. And it just requires a little bit of strategy and a little bit of support to make sure your body has what it needs so you can release what you no longer need, or you can
Mhm.
be adding to your physique in a way that is going to help you feel good and confident.
Yes.
That was also a tangent.
Preach. Preach. No. I'm like, I am welcoming all the tangents in this conversation. But okay, love that. So
Okay, so we started at menstruation.
start
So
of menstruation, it
we
is you need a
menstruate.
period, it's healthy.
We menstruate and then we go into our follicular phase. So follicular is like you're rebuilding, you're going to get that energy back, like your estrogen is rising again, like it's a good time. That's a great time to be doing your higher intensity workouts as long as you're
Yes.
eating well, get your strength training in, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And then we get to our ovulation. Ovulation is when estrogen peaks, and now progesterone is going to take over and be the dominant hormone. So that is happening right after ovulation, progesterone rised, and now we are getting into our luteal phase. And our luteal phase is the common phase people do not feel good in. You will naturally feel like you retain a little bit more water. You might just feel a little bit more hungry. Like your body actually needs 300 more calories in your luteal phase the week leading up to your cycle because your body will burn through those calories when you're bleeding just by doing nothing. So keep that in mind. Like there's some days where I'm like, why am I starving? Like I haven't even worked out hard. And it's like, well, girl, like where are your hormones at? Like where are you at in your cycle? So that's the cycle summed up in a quick moment. And then for ovulation tracking, which I should say monitoring is the correct word. Ovulation monitoring, I would use Anito. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Fabulous brand. I think I have it. It's right here.
I'm a Aura Ring girl. Are you a Aura Ring girl?
So I am not a wearable girl. So I wear
Okay.
nothing. I don't
Wait, I
track.
love that.
Yes, it's very woo-woo of me, but I don't want to be worried about my sleep score, about my step count, about now, don't get me wrong. I think it's great if you can have a good relationship with it. But for me, I am a crazy person. I will want to get, 15,000 steps a day and make sure I get 100 out of 100 on my sleep score. It's a little bit of who I am. And so I
Yes.
know that. And I have a boundary with myself of we don't need that. We're going to
Yep.
keep our peace of mind and we're good. But this is the Anito ovulation reader. And I love it. So you take a stick and you pee in a cup and then you insert it into the reader. And then it
Okay.
tells you your LH, your PDG, which is like the sister hormone of progesterone, your estradiol, and your FSH, your follicular stimulating hormone.
Mm.
So if you are TTC trying to conceive, or you just want to know, I'm not trying to conceive, but I want to make sure I'm fertile and that I'm ovulating, right? And so, especially for if you are, married and you're sexually active, preventing pregnancy, it's a great tool to just know where you're at. So yeah, but I would say little things I do to be in tune with my body during my cycle. Number one, I would make sure I'm keeping track of every month, when I am having my cycle, how long it is, what color my blood is. All of that is very, very important. If you have spotting pre-cycle, which is very, very common, I would say that's a good indicator that like you're either experiencing low progesterone or maybe a little bit of like stress in your life. And we need to find a better way
Okay.
to make sure we're managing stress levels. And that could even be through like over exercising. So, like looking at, okay, when I am exercising, am I making sure that I'm fueling properly after I'm done? Like
Mhm.
little things like that. But I would say, like during my follicular phase, so like first part of that month, you have more energy. So like I'm for surely gonna make sure like I'm hitting my strength workouts. Um, yeah, that's a huge one for me. And then making sure I'm eating enough carbohydrates after
Okay.
my workouts, really like putting your carbs around where you're going to burn your fuel is so amazing. But also, you should have carbs in all your meals. That's my personal opinion. I do not believe that keto is a smart thing for a reproductive female or
Mhm.
honestly anyone. Like the body runs on glucose and carbohydrates. So if you're not getting those, your body will turn your protein into that source,
Yeah.
which is a much harder process for your body to do. So, yeah. Ovulation, like that's a great time to do a sprint. So, like, if you're
Okay.
sprinting during ovulation, one day a week or one day during your ovulation, you don't need to do it like every single day, but like sprints during your ovulation to get rid of anything that could be stuck in your liver. So, think of like pent up anger, pent up emotion. Like, we got to get it out. And that's a great time. Yes. So,
I love this. Wait, unpack that a little bit.
yeah.
'Cause
So, if,
that's one thing. So, we talked about this, like, off air,
yeah.
but played basketball in college. Obviously, we're sprinting, we're doing so much of that work. I got done playing basketball, I was like I could not tell you the last time I've, like, full blown sprinted, Bailey.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's fair though.
I know I need to add it in. I'm just,
Yeah.
like, hesitant. So convince me right now why I need to add sprints in during my
Well,
ovulation phase.
I mean, metabolic, like health is so important. And you just ran your like 300-mile race. So I mean, you're fine.
But I'm, like, jogging, I'm, like, yapping the
Yeah.
whole time. We were nowhere close to a sprint.
Yeah. So I think like the body is really smart, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so if we can get strategic on when we are pushing that high intensity, right? It would make zero sense for you to be trying to sprint the day before you get your cycle, right? Your energy is going to be low. You're probably not going to be like feeling like you can do a 9-mile-an-hour sprint. Like you might be wanting to go at like a 5. So ovulation, the reason why it's such a great time, you have peak energy, right? You have peak performance. Your hormones are high. Like your estrogen, it's good. It's ready to be burned. And estrogen is what helps us build muscle. So progesterone is more of our like feminine, soft. It's curvy, voluptuous, it's
Mhm.
glowing, right? It helps you have that sparkle in your eye. And estrogen is more of that like, it's building hormone. We need it, right? We
Yeah.
need both of them. But estrogen peak during ovulation, and it's back to why it's good to do that sprint is the liver holds on to emotion. It holds on to past, hormones, toxins, whatever. So frustration, anger, resentment, all of those emotions get stored in our liver. So if we can find a way to just be like, I need to get rid of this pent up energy,
Yes.
whatever it is. It could even be good energy. It could be like, I'm so happy or like whatever, but like celebrate your body then, celebrate whatever. And sprinting during ovulation is the perfect time to do it because your body is well nourished. It has the hormones that it needs. It's not in a scarcity mindset. So if you're not ovulating and if you're not having a cycle, your body does not feel safe. And that is the difference between, oh, I have a healthy menstruation cycle and I don't have a healthy menstruation cycle. Your body feels scarcity somewhere. So if you already feel scarcity, like when I didn't have my cycle for almost 3 years, it wouldn't make sense for me to be sprinting because I'm already in a scarcity mindset, or maybe not even mindset, but scarcity, like my body doesn't feel
Yes.
fully safe. So, yes,
No.
that's
So I have a personal story of that for the girls listening to like just round this home and then we'll finish the other part of our cycle,
Yeah.
the 2 other phases.
Yeah.
So when I was really struggling end of high school and early college with eating and fueling my body, really battling an eating disorder, my body did not feel safe. I was not giving it what it needed. And the sports nutritionist that I was working with, I hated the scale. Like the number on the scale, talk about a downward spiral. I would see that number and it would be game over for me. It was bad. So she was like, okay, listen, we don't have to use the scale, but I want us to measure something because I want you to see what's about to happen to your body. And so what we did is we measured like with literally a measuring tape around my waist, around my hips, and around my thighs. And I was not like I was playing college basketball at this point. I was not overweight in any way. But she helped me and I was eating more than I'd ever ate in my life. I was eating what my body actually needed and I was giving my body enough food. And when I tell you, when I was doing that and I was actually eating enough and giving my body enough fuel and my body felt safe, I was losing inches off of my waist and was eating the most I'd ever ate in my entire life. And that was the moment that I was like, wow, like there is something here because like our world teaches us like, okay, to lose weight, you just need to exercise more and eat less. And it's like for a female's body specifically, if you put your body in a state that it does not feel safe and protected, it's going to hold on to everything it has. And that's what my body was doing. It was holding on to everything. And then when I finally gave it enough nourishment, it was like, okay, I can start to release some of this fat. And I lost inches off of my waist. And I was, from that moment, I was like, I'm a believer. Like,
That
teach
is
me everything you know.
awesome. That's so cool. That's a really great story too. And I mean, that even gives me hope, right? Like for other people, like when your body feels safe, everything gets better in your life. You're going to be able to show up and be fully present. Like that was
Yes.
the biggest thing for me is like, I was not even myself. Like you said at the beginning, you were like, I'm not even the same person. And it's like me
Yes.
either. I was just like a shell of myself. And that's, I think, the coolest thing is like, no matter, yeah, I don't have a six pack anymore. I don't. And I'm so okay with it. Like, I am not
Mhm.
as shredded as I used to be, but like, I want to be a mom. And that is the goal
Yes.
of like, having that is so much more important to me than what I look like. And being caught up in what we look like is an ego race that is never going to end in fulfillment. It is always going to be, it's a constant cycle because if you
Mhm.
had to restrict your way into that body, into that version of yourself, you're going to have to continue to do that to stay there. And that is not life giving.
Yes. Love. So we'll talk more about like, I can't wait for the end of this episode for you just to like help all the girls who might be in that area of their life. But going back to our
Yes.
hormone cycle conversation. So basically the way I think, and tell me if this is wrong, Bailey,
Yeah.
but the way I think of it is you've got 4 phases in your cycle. So I think of like my follicular and my ovulation is like my top of the mountain, my peak. And like those are like I say them, which you're probably gonna like disagree with maybe. And that's okay. Please, if you do disagree, set me straight. I'm a firm believer, tangent here, that you need people in your life who tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
So good.
And if you don't have people like that, you need some new friends. So feel free to disagree with me. So I think of my follicular, my ovulation is like my good, my high points. And at those points, from what you're saying, we need to be doing high intensity exercises. We need to be sprinting. We need to be lifting heavy, doing those strength exercises. And then I think of like the other side of our cycle. You've got your luteal and your menstrual. And those I think of them as like my valley in a way, is the way I think of it in my brain. And what are you doing during those two parts? Like
Yeah.
your luteal and your menstrual?
Yes. So I would say I'm not even going like super crazy during my follicular. I
Okay.
will strength train progressively for sure because I have more energy, but I'm not saying like you should do HIIT every single day. Like definitely not saying that. I think it's a good time though, like if you do enjoy like a HIIT class, you can do that and great time to do it. But your luteal and your menstruation, it's very much, I would say, like it's a good time to look inward. So every single time during our cycle, and if there's an emotion that comes up in your luteal phase, like have you heard of like PMDD? It's like where you get very anxious or you have these like dark thoughts during your luteal phase before your cycle.
Mhm.
That is a really, really, really good indicator to me that we need to support your liver and that we need to work on emotional regulation and like, okay, what in your life do you not enjoy? Like, are you in a relationship that's not serving you? Is it a friendship? Is it a work thing? Is it how you're sleeping? Like, there must be something out of alignment for your body to be that uncomfortable during your luteal phase. Your luteal phase should not be like a night and day difference from your follicular. Yes, they're different. You should feel a little bit different, but you shouldn't like not be able to function or have like chronic cramps or anything. For movement, I think like long walks, I think, Pilates, lower impact, you can still strength train. I just wouldn't be trying to like, PR on your
Okay.
lunges or something. Like, listen to your body. Like, if you usually are going to challenge yourself with a lunge, like maybe go 5 pounds lighter or something like that. Like, you don't have to do nothing, but just making sure you are in tune with your body. And that looks different for everyone, right? And then I would say the only other like big nutrition tip I have is making sure you're balancing your blood sugar. So, blood sugar balance throughout your entire cycle is very important, but really truly can make a really big difference with your menstruation if you're doing a good job of making sure you have enough protein and things like that during that luteal phase.
Okay. So if we were, I'm just curious. So like you've got your luteal and your menstrual phase. If a
Mhm.
girl were to go do a higher intensity exercise, like let's say she goes and takes a Orange Theory class, which
Yeah.
is, stereotypically pretty high intense, or a berries
Yeah, yeah.
class during that time, what is their body gonna do if they're in that luteal, that menstrual phase, and they put their body through that extreme stress of high intensity? What happens to the body during that time?
It's okay. I don't wanna, like, cause fear because say you do have, like, a high rocks race and it's scheduled for
Yes.
your cycle day, right? Your body is smart. It can adapt to what it has to do, right? But when we think of a stressful exercise, right, like, your body will produce more cortisol. Now, cortisol is not bad. Cortisol has a really bad, like, reputation right now. It's not bad. We need cortisol. And so when cortisol is
Mhm.
released, it gives us energy. But cortisol and progesterone cannot be made at the same time. So if you are making too much cortisol, like say you go and do a crazy workout and your body's just like really, really stressed out from it and you're not able to recover, that's where we can get into a little bit of that trouble in that like luteal and menstruation phase. But if you have a healthy cycle and you have a regular cycle, you are okay to throw in some higher intensity during that time. But I just am such a big proponent of like, your body best. And
Mhm.
if you feel good doing those workouts during your luteal phase and you're making sure you eat afterward and, doing all that stuff, I'm not worried about you as long as you're getting your menstruation cycle. The only time we need to worry about it is if you're not ovulating or
Okay.
you're missing your period.
Okay. Good to know.
But I will say, like for myself, I feel better when I go lower impact during my luteal and my menstruation phase. But that's where everyone is so individualized. And so online, we want a blanket statement. We want someone to tell us, like, yeah, just do this and you're going to be fine. And that's just not how it works, right? We all have
Mhm.
such different genetic makeups, such different bodies. And yeah.
Okay, good to know. So, as we kind of round out this conversation of our hormone cycle,
Yeah.
one thing that when I learned it, it kind of rocked my world. One, I want to verify this with you because I'm loving getting to learn from you, is that statistically, and tell me if this is correct or not, when we're in that luteal and that menstrual phase, your body's retaining, is it like 4 to 6 pounds of water weight, of extra water weight during that
Yes.
phase?
100%. So, like, don't weigh yourself.
Yes, and,
It's
like,
not
that was
accurate.
one thing, like, for the girls listening, I remember, again, when I was in that mindset that was struggling with my body image, with my eating, like, I was so hard on myself, and I think it's good to give you the facts and y'all know, like, "Hey, during those 2 phases, your body's retaining more water. Give yourself some grace. Like, this is not
Mhm.
permanent. Like, you don't need to restrict." I think that was a really, really big, like, eye opener when I learned that fact.
100%. Yeah.
And then to reiterate what you've already said, but just teaching this as well, is that during that phase, you're burning, you said 300 more calories?
Yep.
Yes, okay. I wanted to make sure I got that number right.
Yeah.
I put a
And I mean,
TikTok
that's
out.
gonna range for everyone, right? That's gonna range for
Yes.
everyone. But, like, that's what the science the studies they've done. It's about 300 calories.
Okay. That is good to know.
Mhm.
So just so y'all know that as well, like, give yourself some grace. If you're hungry during that time, it's scientifically proven you should be,
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
Okay, so as we kind of round out this current season of your life, Bailey, I want to know, what does your workout routine look like? Like, just a little brief overview for the girls, like, what is ideal for you? And then what are kind of your nutrition non-negotiables?
Love. Okay, so for my training right now, I have been kind of on a body recomposition journey a little bit of trying to gain more muscle mass, and not like in a way of like trying to like gain a bunch of weight, but just like really trying to gain strength. So
Yes.
in the gym, I am progressively overload training. So right now, I'm following a 4-day split. So I do lower body with like a quad glute focus. I do an upper body with kind of, I would say, like shoulders, triceps, biceps, all of the upper body hit in one day. And then I do another lower body focusing on hamstrings. And then I'll do like a full body workout. So like that one is more of just like a fun go to the gym. I'm going to pick up some weights. I'll do like some back exercises, whatever. And then I'll throw in like a solid core and a Pilates class, maybe one time during the week. So I would say I'm working out like 3 times for sure every single week, and then more of like a fun workout on the weekend, like a Pilates or something with a friend, and then just walking.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's go, like, nutrition non-negotiables
Yes.
right
Okay.
now. What is your body loving? What have you found that works best for you?
Yeah. So for surely, like my biggest thing is eating breakfast every single morning. I think
Yes.
that is the most important meal of our day, especially for females. Like we need to nourish our bodies in the morning.
Yes. Great.
And yes, and I would say, like, I feel really good with, like, protein and carbs in the morning, carbs coming from fruit. So, making sure that I actually am eating carbohydrates. I used to be someone that was like, "I'm only eating protein in the morning, like, no carbs." That tended actually to make my cycle go a little MIA without eating carbs. So, that's where I'm like, everyone's so different. I'm also pretty active. Like, I am working out and moving my body, and so I need to make sure my body has what it needs. And our thyroid needs carbohydrates, like all of that. I would say I feel really good doing like protein and carbs. My favorite food right now is Japanese sweet potatoes.
Love.
Japanese sweet potatoes roasted in the oven. Like I could eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Putting a egg on top of like a slice of a sweet Japanese potato, insane. It'll change
Heavenly.
your life.
Yes.
You probably already do that, don't you?
Love. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're like me, I get with food, I'll get in kicks. So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if I'm in, like, a Japanese sweet potato kick, I will eat that thing until I can't eat it anymore, and then I've
Yeah.
gotta go on, like, a hiatus, and
Yeah.
then I might get on the kick again.
I think that might be like an ADHD thing.
Yeah, probably.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm the same way though. But I would say like my main thing with nutrition right now is focusing on eating with good company. So not worrying so much about what I'm eating and focusing more on like who do I get to share my meals with? Or if I'm eating alone, like I'll have my Bible with me and like just making it not so transactional. Cause I think it's a really easy thing to make transactional. I also think eating is a really easy thing to make an idol. So it's really easy to make it something that we end up accidentally worshiping of nutrition and oh my gosh, what am I going to eat tomorrow? Oh my gosh, like am I going to hit my macros? Am I eating too much? Like I think when we're fully present and able to just be with
Mm.
ourselves in the moment, your body will naturally give you the hunger cues it needs. And that is a practice too, right? Like that is not something that's super easy, but I would say like it's definitely something that has changed for my nutrition. I'm not so much on like, oh, I have to eat this, this, and this, and this. It's like, okay, we have our whole food principle of if God grew it, you can eat it, enjoying the food that you eat, obviously, making fun recipes, making it creative, but not making it controlling. And that is definitely something that like I even look back on last year of my life at this time. I would say I was a little bit controlling with how I was eating and I wasn't even fully aware of it. So it's good to take that audit of, okay, how am I feeling my body? Like, is it becoming a god for me? Is it becoming something that's stressing me out? If so, what do I need to change? How can I better support myself? What are the things I need to prepare ahead of time and plan ahead of time so I don't need that stress to be worrying about?
Yes, I am giddy right now because I'm like, this conversation, I'm just like, wow, the girls are getting so much good from you. So thank you. But the way that honestly was a huge shift in my life when I healed my relationship with food, healed my relationship with my body is like I kind of talk of it in terms of like romanticizing the moment and like I
Mm,
romanticize my meals. Like there is
yeah.
hardly ever, I feel like, especially in America, it's definitely in like an America thing, it's so normalized to, like, grab food, scarf it down. You're, like, walking around the house, doing the laundry, doing a million different
Yeah.
things while you're scarfing food down, and your body can't feel your satiety cues
Mm-mm.
when you're doing that, and so one change I made is, like, if I'm going to eat, I am going to sit down, make me a plate, and quote, unquote, "romanticize that moment," which literally simply what you just said means
Yeah.
being present in that moment with your food, and it's like one, you get so much more enjoyment from that, but, like, I'm able to feel like, "Okay, I'm full." Like, I used to be the girl who was like, "I don't understand how people don't finish a plate." Like, I was like,
Yeah.
"That is unfathomable to me." I was like, every time I sit down, I just feel like I just clear my plate as fa and I was the first one done at every
Yeah.
single meal,
I also
and
think that's, like,
once you
so
start to
athlete, like, such an athletic
Yes,
thing that
probably.
happens, like, because you were expending so much energy, and then, you get used to, like, having that high appetite, and your body was
Yes,
burning so much, so
and then when you're like once I learned, like, okay, to be present in a meal and, like, sit down and enjoy it and romanticize it, like, I now am at the point where it's like, okay, like I can feel I'm full
Mhm.
and, if I finish my meal, great. If there's still some left, but I
Yeah,
used to never be able to do that, which is a cool kind of cool thing. So that's
so
so powerful
cool.
there.
I love that, and I'll just add on to that of, like, I used to not allow myself to eat snacks, like, I was like, "Only breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's it." Come again.
Yeah.
That's not healthy, and so I guess I didn't really touch on this, but, like, I had struggled with an eating disorder in the past, and I was never went to in-person treatment, but I definitely had every, symptom and issue of that, and that is, like, your body might need more fuel some days, like we just said, depending on where you're at in your cycle, or maybe you did a really hard workout in the morning, like, there are so many things, and trying to control what you're putting into your body or keeping yourself in a rigid, restrictive calorie deficit or whatever, it's going to do so much more harm than good because, like you said, you're going to get to your next meal and you are going to be a bottomless pit because
Yes.
you've deprived yourself for so long or you haven't allowed yourself to listen to your hunger cues and you've turned them off. And so, yeah, if I could just like, empower to create that relationship with your body and not in a, letting your flesh take over and telling you to eat ice cream every night, in a way of, okay, how can I honor the temple
Yes.
that God has given me and honor the version of myself that is going to be able to go show up and be present and be energized? Like, that's how we should be nourishing our body. And I think that mindset shift will do everything for you.
Gosh, you're incredible. We could talk for forever. Okay, so with that being said, I want to unpack a little bit. You kind of had prefaced it, so it's a
Yeah.
perfect segue of I want you to walk us through your past seasons of life
Hmm.
that got you to where you are today because I am learning so much from you in this episode. You're so stinking knowledgeable and
Thank you.
just a joy. And I want to hear what all you had to go through, the lessons you had to learn, what you learned to get
Hmm.
you to where you are today. And I want to preface this, Bailey, that yes, I mean the health and the wellness things,
Hmm.
but also you have such an incredible spirit that if there's anything with like your spirituality mentally, I would love to hear your journey with that as well because I feel like you are such a light in this world, and I
Oh,
want
thank you.
people to hear yes, I mean that with all my heart. I want people to hear the journey that you went on to get to be the light that you are today.
Yes, I love that. What seasons that have shaped me into where we are today, I would say definitely stems from like literally back to when I was 12 years old, maybe even younger. I have always had an athletic body. So I am someone that like I have muscular legs, like I'm strong and it's been something that I had always been self-conscious about, which is so funny because now people like want that. And I'm like,
Bailey, I'm laughing because I feel so seen right now.
yeah,
I'm like, wow, are we
no.
relating on so many things?
Yeah, and so my like, from when I was, like, 8 years old, I remember always feeling a little bit bigger than my friends, like, they were always, taller, a little skinnier, blonder, whatever, and I kind of made up this story in my head of, like, "Oh, like, I'm not good enough, like, I'm a little bigger than my friends," whatever. I was not. Like, it was my own interpretation, right? And so as I grew up playing sports and whatever, I would kind of go through these cycles where I would get like more in shape and I like felt really good. And then I would kind of like get back into like old patterns of like not moving my body as much, whatever. And it was not a problem at all. Like I was always self-conscious in my body. Didn't matter if I was super fit, didn't matter if I wasn't. Like I always was so worried about what other people thought about me. And I don't know why. Like I mean, I came from a very loving family. Like I have everything I could possibly need to be confident and well loved and whatever. And so it's an inner thing, right? It's an inner situation. It's a self journey. And so I played sports in high school and I loved being a leader. I was the captain of both my teams. Like I I just loved leading people and I loved working out. I loved moving my body and I got into eating healthier. So I would bring my own lunch every single day in high school and just like very, type A, organized, got my things done all the time, like go, 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 doing it all, straight A's. Like I was achieving. Achieve, 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 achieve. Everything I was doing, I just loved that. But like once I like got something done on my goal list or something, it was like, okay, on to the next. Like didn't even take a minute to acknowledge what I had just done.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the eldest daughter, and there's like a whatever they say, the eldest daughters are so like that. And I'm like, I think a lot of women are like that. But anyway, so I went to college and I got really into drinking every single weekend, binge drinking, not a healthy amount of drinking. I used alcohol as my confidence and I really relied on that to socialize for literally my entire entire alcohol career. Well, entire college career. It was very and don't get me wrong, I did have fun. I made really great memories with my friends, but at the end of the day, I was very reliant on a substance outside of myself to show up as that person. And I was not living fully, truly, authentically embodied in who I was. So my senior year of college, junior year, I started to do training at a gym. So I got really into fitness and I started to realize, oh, wow, if I eat less and move more, I notice these different changes in my body and I can kind of control how my body looks. And yeah. So it was a little bit of a blip in the system of working out too much, caring way too much about what I looked like. If I missed a workout, like I would make sure to get another one in. Like it was just very, very rigid. And so I still was like having fun with my friends though, going out on the weekends, whatever. But I knew that I had this burning passion for health and wellness. Like I loved being a trainer. I loved leading people. I loved serving people. And it's always been something I've loved, like training in the gym. And so a healthy thing turned really unhealthy though very quickly with how I was fueling my body because I was not eating enough for how much energy I was expending. And so I was also taking spironolactone at the time for my acne, and I'd always kind of struggled on and off with acne, but nothing like too bad, just like little things. So they were like, "Oh, take this, whatever." And at the time, I didn't know it was a big deal. But so I was taking spironolactone for almost 2 years, drinking, whatever. I graduated college early and I started working for a marketing company and was working every day in my room at my college house. And we found out that my college house had mold in it. And I had been in my room every day working up there. And so I was exposed to the mold. Now, I like to preface by saying a normal person's body can detox from mold because if your liver is functioning, if you are healthy, you're eating, right? You need food in order to properly detox. But because I was depriving myself of nutrients and I was drinking and I was also vaping, which I'm very, that was a shameful thing that I had to get over and be okay talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, so after college, I moved home and I got all these like detox symptoms. So acne all over my face, full body rashes, like crazy health stuff going on, IBS symptoms, like you name it, I was struggling with it. And at the time, I didn't know that it was like a mold situation, when in reality, mold is also just like your liver can't detox, right? And so that's what I was dealing with, is I was dealing with a sluggish detox system. And that happened because of the way that I was living my lifestyle. So anyways, that's the start. When I was 22, moved home, I would say like rock bottom was hit. I allowed myself to be in relationships that did not serve me. I allowed myself to be treated how I shouldn't have been treated. There was so much in my heart that I didn't deal with that was painful, like emotionally painful from college, that I just kind of ignored and like drank and it was fine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I want you to keep going, so I don't want to
Yeah,
pause you
go ahead.
long at all. But I know there are so many girls that are in that exact same situation right now. Like,
Hmm.
that feel so seen and heard hearing you speak, because I think what you're speaking about, it's not like you were doing anything crazy. I think that that is a normalized thing in college nowadays. And it's like, we've normalized this. And I'm like, guys, this isn't normal.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not normal. It is sad that it is normal because it's a lifeless cycle of going out every single weekend and binge drinking and being hungover on Sunday. And it is, I mean, they call it a spirit for a reason, right? When you're drinking a spirit, it is allowing something else to take over your body. And that is definitely something that I had to realize and learn. Now, I didn't stop drinking when I got all of these symptoms and moved home. I still was trying to see my friends, but not as much. And I was still vaping when I would drink and like just, not truly treating my body like a temple. And anyways, there came to be a point in November. So I graduated or moved home in May. And in November of that year, my dog passed away. And that was like the kicker for me of like just so much sadness and like finally allowing myself to like feel these emotions. Anyways, I went back to school for nutritional therapy after this. So I became really passionate about healing the body and taught myself so much through research and through podcasts. And this was kind of before podcasts blew up. I would say it was 2022. So yeah, like 4 years ago. I mean, they were still big, but they weren't as big as they are now. And now I feel like they're amazing. And so just really learned like, okay, what do I need to do to heal my body? I started working with a Chinese medicine doctor. I stopped drinking. I started to eat plant-based, which I would not recommend. But I was eating plant-based to detox from the mold and get rid of like anything that could be stuck in my body. Anyways, it was about 8 months of healing, I would say. And in February, so like 4 months into February, I would say I had like a spiritual awakening, if you will, of just like I was having this really like poor me story. And I'd always been so hard on myself. And it was just so like self-critical all the time, so ego. And I didn't really know that, right? Like I wasn't able to be like, oh, this is my ego talking. It was just like thoughts. And so I started to understand that my thoughts actually held power over my body and that what I allowed into my mind was important and powerful. And
Yes.
so I started to read a book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And I would actually, if I could change the title, I would say God Can Heal Your Life, because it's not you. Yes, you have to work with God, but it is not you. You are not the healer. There is a greater divine power that is healing your body and made your body to be functioning well. It is not you that is the God. And that is the problem with our world today, is that we think that we can be our own God and that we can cure everything and we can heal ourselves, and you can't. So just putting that out there. That book was
Same
this
page.
Yeah, that book was the start of me understanding that I do actually have a say in how I feel and how my outlook is on life and everything. So I started to go back to church. My brother was really big on like, come to church with me. I want you to start to read your Bible. And I was like, I am not reading my Bible. Don't even come at me with that reading the Bible thing. Like, I believe in God. I'm good. I don't need my Bible. And that was like that for a while, I will say. But I started going to church. I started to pray. I started to write to God and I started to heal. And it was not me. I was doing the same things I had been doing, but I now was like, I had a different spiritual practice.
Mhm.
And that is really it's an energy, it's a frequency. You can feel it. I can't explain it until you've experienced it, which I'm sure you have. But anyway, so that was really the true start of my healing is when I found my way back to my faith. And I've always believed in God, but I did not find that true relationship with God, right?
Yeah.
There's a very big difference between having a relationship with God, with Jesus, and then believing in God and being religious.
Yes.
And it's okay if you believe in God and you are religious, but until you find the relationship, you will not fully understand that the love that God has for you feels like.
Mhm.
Um, and so that was a big turning point for me. And then continued to go back to school, Nutritional Therapy Association, and, just researching and reading. And I became obsessed with helping other people. And I wanted to help other people. I just love to learn about the body and still do. And so I started to build my website, and I was not like, quote unquote, healthy yet. Like, I still was dealing with some physical symptoms, still didn't have my cycle, still was dealing with low energy, fatigue, digestion issues. But I knew this information was going to help other people, and I knew that I needed to share it. And so I created an Instagram account called Basics times Bay, and it was all about getting back to the basics. And I never shared my face. It was like food stuff, it was like mindset stuff, it was like what I was eating, whatever. I had a fear of being seen. Like, I just was self-conscious and so sad. And it's still something I deal with today, but it's choosing every day to not let that hold me anymore. And it's a daily choice. But anyway, so I started sharing on there. And I finished, well, actually, no, I was still going to school. And then December of 2023, so like 2 years ago, I prayed on New Year's Eve and I was like, God, please help me change my life. Like, I need you to help me change my life. I have all these dreams. I want to help people. Like, I know I'm not reaching my full potential. And 17 days later, I got laid off from my job. And I was like, okay, all right, God, that's not necessarily the prayer that I thought I was praying. So I got laid off. And then I was like, all right, I'm just going to launch my business. So launched my business, and that has brought me to this season, which I would say in October started a new season of fully surrendering, rebuilding and building my business with God instead of just me building my business. Um,
Yes.
so that's the long story of how we got here in seasons.
Incredible. Incredible. Okay. So, with you going through that, what were the tangible things when you were in that state of you were dealing with, bloating, gut issues, acne, all the things you were dealing with?
Yeah.
What were tangible things that you did to make that change in your life?
Yeah. So I would say number one is no processed food. So if it's in a bag and it has more than 5 ingredients, or if you
Get rid
don't
of
know
it.
how to, yeah, if you can't pronounce an ingredient, it's not a good time to be eating it. Now, once your gut is healed and in a happy place, you're fine. And then I would say making sure you're hydrated, no ice in your water, but hydration is important, adding in your minerals, making sure you are balancing your blood sugar levels. So, adequate protein, enough fiber, small things like that make the world of a difference for acne. And here's what I'll say though is when I work with clients one on one, it is so individual what is going to help your skin and what is going to hurt your skin. We are not the same. Like, you could do the exact same things I do, and you could end up getting acne or vice versa, right? So it's really hard to say blanket statements, but I would say like real whole foods, don't drink alcohol. That is a big, 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 big big trigger for acne. And it's not talked about enough, but it's because your liver shows up on your face. So if your liver is overburdened, it will show up on your face. You will get puffy, you will have dark circles, you can get acne. And so supporting your liver, castor oil packs, 110%. Like castor oil packs, I am your biggest fan. Like, do you do them? Do you do them?
Okay, I've
No?
gone through phases, but
You need to.
like, I know I need to. And honestly, we're gonna at the end of this episode, you're gonna
Yeah.
give when we go our rapid fire, I wanna hear, like, your nutrition must-haves
Yes.
or, like, your wellness must-haves. So we'll get links and in our show notes, guys, I always do this when this podcast drops. The day of, we're gonna drop a Shop My thing to all
Perfect.
of your favorites, all of your must-haves, and it'll be in the show notes too. So
So smart.
we can get
Love.
all the girls on.
Love. Amazing. Yeah. So that's what I would say for skin is like supporting the liver, number one is
Okay.
my go-to.
I wanna ask you real quick, not to get you off track,
Yeah.
but just very, very brief because I think a lot of girls will want to know this.
Hmm.
When you're talking about alcohol,
Yeah.
what is and I know that's, a personal decision for different people. What is your relationship with alcohol like now? Is it in your life,
Yeah.
like you don't drink it at all? Kinda give us your rundown there and your thoughts on, alcohol.
For sure. So for me personally, I will have a drink once in a while, like very, very, very rare. I have a hard relationship with alcohol where I'm a better version when I'm not drinking. And so that's just a me thing. If you can have a drink or two or three and you're fine and you feel good and you can be normal the next day, like that's amazing. I'm not in that season right now. And so I don't like to say like I'm never going to drink again, but no, like alcohol is not in my life simply because it makes me just not a great version of myself. And also, I feel a lot of conviction right now
Mhm.
with choices like that as I've grown in my faith.
Yeah. I relate heavily to that with kind of the conviction. Alcohol for me, if I were to drink, in excess more than 1 or 2 drinks, like if I were to have 3 or 4 drinks,
Yeah.
it doesn't affect me as much physically. Like I could wake up the next day and like don't feel physically hungover.
Hmm.
But the mental hangover for me is
It's dark.
awful, awful.
Yeah.
Because I truly, all my friends could tell you, I am the least anxious person in the world. Like I know anxiety is a real thing.
Hmm.
I am not anxious or like never experienced anxiety.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord. I'm grateful for that. I'm not saying that to be
Yeah.
ignorant. But if I were to drink in excess, I am so stinking anxious. And I am
Yeah.
because I've never felt that in my life that I'm like, what is this feeling? I hate this. So it affects me mentally so, 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 so much.
It's crazy. Yeah. So that's what I'd say about that. To each their own.
Yes. Okay. Good to know.
Hmm.
Okay, so not to get off track, you were saying your non-negotiables that helps you heal. Castor oil packs is where we left off.
Yes. I would say like the real whole foods, getting enough sleep. It's all like it's the basics. Like, and that's literally why I came up with that slogan of like back to the basics, because it's literally like if you are doing the basics, you're sleeping, you're hydrating, you're eating, you're moving your body, and you're taking care of your mind, you are gonna feel better. Like
Yes.
it works. And there are seasons where you're gonna have to be a little bit more strict, like, maybe there is a season where you do need to take out alcohol to heal your gut or to heal your skin, and, yeah, I think, like, that's where, like, working with a coach can be really beneficial, having someone guide you in that and making sure, like, what you are doing is getting you to where you wanna be, because you can do it by yourself, but it's so much harder. It's just it's a lot. Like, I wish I would have had a support system when I was healing and, like, going through kind of just my gut stuff, my skin stuff, like, I worked with so many different people, but I never found someone that, like, heard me and
Yes.
understood me, and I needed someone that, like, was on the same wavelength
Mhm.
of, "Okay, yeah, I hear you, I understand. I understand you wanna look good and feel good, and I understand that you don't just wanna gain 20 pounds of body fat to get your cycle back." Like,
Yes.
there are other ways that you can do that, that don't require you to feel miserable, but it does take some strategy and some more work.
Yes. And guys, also, if you haven't put it together yet, Bailey does one-on-one coaching, and we're going to link that in the show notes too. So if there's any girls that are listening to this, that they can know where to find you and potentially get coached by you.
Yeah.
So, Bailey, with us, thank you for sharing your past seasons.
Yes.
So now I want to take us to a fun season to unpack, and that is your future season. So
Yes.
I want to know, for your future seasons of life, what are you working towards right now? What are some goals you're working towards, you're dreaming towards? Give us the rundown. I'm curious to know what you're going to say here.
Yes. So I would say future goals. I love what I'm doing with my business and I want to continue to serve people to the best of my ability. And I've been feeling very called to hire someone. So that will be something that's coming into my next season of sharing kind of my business with someone else. So whether that's like another nutritional therapy practitioner, maybe someone that specializes in something else that I can offer
Yeah.
my clients, and really allowing my business to help someone else grow too and serve more people because I'm only one person and so that's definitely coming in the future, which is very, very exciting. Continuing to grow Health and Social Club in a way of building community and finding, helping people really feel like they belong to our community. So we're working on hopefully getting something digitally put together to have our community be able to talk to each other and things like that online. Yeah, outside of just our events, because events are fabulous, but it's only, once in a while. And so that is in the works. Lots around just being in the moment. And I know that sounds, a little like that's how's that a goal, but it is. It's like don't get so caught up in, am I going to get this for Instagram? It's like, am I where my feet are? Am I like being a really good friend? Am I listening during a conversation? Am I literally enjoying, my dinner when I'm eating with my family? Like those are so important. And those have been, they might sound like they're small, but to me, they feel really big because the last few years of my life have been such a building season where I have had a very lopsided work life, situation. I don't really expect that to change all that much, but I do expect myself to create better boundaries so that I'm able to be in my life and not be like working in life at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yes.
Okay, so without further ado, I say we go rapid fire to
Let's
finish
do
this
it.
episode off. And I say we start this rapid fire with, let's myth bust. So top of mind, let's go like 3 to 5 things that are like hot things in our world that you're like, oh my gosh, a woman's body, like it's a no. Like don't do
Yeah.
that. Like it's whether it be a trend, something, what are your like red flag, red flag, red flag?
Okay. I would say intermittent fasting, number one.
Red flag,
Yeah,
huge.
I used to do that. Coffee on an empty stomach. I've been seeing some people say, like, I'm gonna drink this on an empty stomach, I don't care. Or like my eyes open, the first thing I do is drink my coffee. They're like going back on people saying like you shouldn't do it. And it's said for a reason. I'm
Yes.
telling you, your gut lining will be so happy if you don't drink coffee on an empty stomach. So that would be like 3 things. Another one I would say is like strength training is not gonna make you bulky. We all know that.
Yes.
Like we need to strength train. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, which means you're going to lose body fat in the long run. And I would say like the GLP-1 thing is just something that comes to mind right now. Like
Yeah.
I got a message today from like another brand that was like, hey, like we'd love to get you on our affiliate program for
Oh my gosh.
XYZ.
I get them all the time, and I'm like, I'm kind of offended.
I know. I'm like, "Oh, are you saying you think I need a GLP-1? No, but I would just say like, here's what I'll say. I was a 00 3 years ago, and I am now a size 4 to 6. I wear a size 27 jean, and no one gives a crap. No one cares what size I am. No one is looking at my stomach not having a six pack. And if they are, like, that's them. That's a them problem. And so I always like to say, like, the way you look is the least interesting thing about you. Because it is. Like, you can feel someone's energy, and that's what you're gonna remember about them. You will never be like, "Oh, her tricep muscle was so toned. Like, I'm sorry. No, like, no one is gonna
Mhm.
be, like, writing that on your gravestone. So, I don't know. I just think, like, life is so much more than being a shell of yourself to look a certain way, and it's better to ask yourself, why do I feel the need to contort myself and be a smaller version of myself? What do I think that's going to get me? Like, what do I associate with that look that I want? Is it to be validated? Is it to be seen? Is it to be loved? Is it to get attention? There is a reason. When you can confront that and get that to be very vulnerable with yourself and understand, okay, I want to be seen. Well, what part of me is not being seen right now? What part of myself am I not expressing? And why? Is it out of fear? Is it out of lack of time? We have to dig deeper to understand why we're choosing the choices and behaviors that we are.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
that's what I would say about the GLP-1s is that if you are not extremely overweight, it is pointless to do that because studies have shown that it is helping your muscles or yeah, your bones, sorry, not muscles, your bone and your muscle is decaying and people are getting holes in their bone. And I see a lot of older women that shake like a lot, like just all the time. And that's a very good sign that they do not have enough muscle mass, they do not have enough strength. And so strong is hot, like be strong. God wants you to be strong. Like he does not want you to be a shriveled up version of yourself because in order for you to live out your gifts here, you have to be healthy. And I think that is something too that is so true and important. No, you shouldn't never work out and you should not just eat whatever you want. But also, you should not be taking a GLP-1 to get to this physique that you want. I think that where we're missing is like when you do the work to get to that result of being really fit, that took time, effort, energy, discipline. It created a version of yourself that you wouldn't have had. It was a season of your life that you wouldn't have had if you didn't go on that journey. And you're literally bypassing it and getting to the end result. That teaches us literally nothing. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's like cheating
I do too, and, like, my thing is that
and not in a healthy way either.
not in a healthy way, and when you use the GLP-1s, my, like, just science brain is like, "Okay, you're, like, not gonna eat, so your metabolism's gonna drop super, super low." So then your metabolism's super low, like, it's on the floor now, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I'm, like, where I wanna be weight-wise, I'm gonna get off of this GLP-1." So you get off
Yeah.
of it. Well, your metabolism's on the floor, you go back to eating just, like, normally. Well, now your metabolism's down here, you could eat normally, and, like, I'm just like, I think it's, like, to me, this is gonna get me on a rabbit hole, but I'm like, it's a long-term scheme because you're gonna have to be on it for life, is what I
Yeah.
feel like.
I mean, our medical system is yeah, exactly. They want patients for life because they know they're going to make money and they are. Like there are so many people that are using it. So, I would say those are my like hot takes though of like, just the last thing you should ever do is go on a GLP.
Yeah. Love the hot takes. Love that, Bailey. Okay, last 2 questions for you. I wanna know, first question is, I think in our world today, the world, the medical system, there's many symptoms we as women experience, and it's just normalized of like, "Oh, that's just normal to live like that."
Mm,
But it's not. Like, I think we are settling we could feel so much better than we do. We
mhm.
live in a normalized way of these symptoms that shouldn't be normal for us to
Yeah.
live with. What are those top symptoms you see that girls might be experiencing and living with now that you wanna tell them, like, "Hey, that's not normal, and, like, there is hope, and that
Yeah.
can be fixed?"
Love. Okay. So my first thing would be I have a lot of clients that come to me that are like I just feel like I have this like bloating all the time in my lower abdomen. So it's like distension, or by the end of the day, like I just feel like bloated, but I don't know why. And it's uncomfortable. Not normal, right? Like we can look into that. We can be helping with that. That is, hormonal imbalance for sure. And there's little things that we can do to help with that. Second, I would say is like hair thinning,
Mm.
any like if you're just like under eye circles, like even those like small things, really big sign that like something's off in your body, right? I always like to say like the thinning of the outside of your eyebrow, like mine used to be really, really thin. And that's a good sign that the thyroid needs support. So thyroid function is under functioning. I'm trying to think. Like another one I would say is like painful periods, like not
Yes.
normal. Endometriosis is so common right now. I'm not sure if you've heard of people
Mhm.
experiencing this or like PCOS, infertility. Like these are things that, yes, there are medical things for a reason to treat them, but first step should not have to go to a surgery. You should not have to go to that right away. We should be working with someone on our lifestyle, on getting our gut in a good place, on making sure we're detoxing properly, on making sure there's no mold in our system or Lyme disease or mercury, metals, whatever. There are so many things that you can do before you feel like you have to go and get a big surgery or something if you're dealing with endometriosis. Now, I am not saying that you shouldn't get that if that's something you need, right? Like, not medical advice. But I just think that it's really normalized to jump to that first or go spend a bunch of money on, your infertility stuff with whether it's like IVF or something. And I'm so grateful we have that as an option, but it shouldn't be our first option. And so that's really something I'm very passionate about is we can do so much for the body to get it to be ovulating, to get you to be in a fertile window before we have to go that route. And another thing I would say on that is like we like to think if I have a period, I'm fertile, and that's not necessarily totally accurate, right? Like you can have a cycle and not be, you know, ovulating super great or having a strong ovulation. And that's why I love like the Anito device. But you need to give yourself a full like 9 months before you want to conceive. Like you need to be preparing your body. You should not be drinking. Your partner should not be drinking. Like there's so many things that the man is responsible for when it comes to fertility. And the man is I don't want to put this all out there, but the man is definitely like a big part of like morning sickness and having a bad pregnancy. Like the man's health, his overall health will directly affect the pregnancy, directly affect. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
It is.
I am mind blown right now.
Yeah. It is insane. Like,
I'm like, future husband, whoever you are, you better be healthy when we're
yeah.
in that time of
You
life.
better be eating your steak. You better be lifting. You better be, whatever, getting your sleep. Like, there's so much to it. And it's the
Wow.
basics, though. That is what I'm going to continue to come back to is like the basics of health work. And it's for men and women. Like, fertility, that's what you need. And here's what I'll say too is our world, like the air, like air pollution, that is definitely coming into a factor for us right now. And so we have to support ourselves. We have to make sure that we are eating arugula to get our bitter greens in and things like that to help detox. Because, yeah, like there are some things working against us. And the last thing I would say on that is kind of a hot take, but like perfume is just, I don't know. I don't love it. It's a phytoestrogen kind of. So it's going to like help your body produce more estrogen and we don't really like need that. So it's like,
Okay, do we have any clean perfumes that you're loving right now?
yes, okay, there's a brand, Modern Roots in
Okay.
Minnesota.
Yes,
It is
help the girls out.
local. Actually, no, it's in Montana too. They ship like all over the US. But it is called Repent and it's a roll-on perfume and it's fabulous. So that is the one I would say is great. I will use like what is it called? Fleur.
Yes.
They say they're cleaner, but I would say I'll use that for like a special occasion. I
Okay.
would say coming from someone that used to spray 20 sprays of Brazilian Crush on their body, like, I don't use perfume very often because it is not great for us and it is going to put more burden on our liver to detox and we don't need that. Yeah, I would say that's a big one.
Okay. Wow. So good to know. Again, I continue to learn more and more. So, to finish us off, one last question. help the girls out. There's so many things in our world that it's just like, man, they're trying to get our money
Mhm.
in the wellness industry of like, wow, that is not worth our money. I want you to tell the girls what is worth our money in the wellness industry that actually makes a difference and we can
Mhm.
feel the difference.
Okay. First things first. You're gonna get a notebook.
Okay. Yes. A season
You're
planner,
you're
season
gonna get a
journal.
season planner. You're gonna get your season planner, you're gonna get a pen.
Yep.
And you're gonna write every single day.
Yes. Love.
Once you've written every single day, I'm not kidding. I don't care what you write about. I don't care. Like, you need to be writing. That is a very, very healthy emotional regulation, physical regulation. You need to be writing. Okay. Then we can layer on after you've been drinking your water and adding minerals. I do love adding minerals to my water. So I believe the brand is Trace Minerals that I use in my water every day. Think about like in order for the water molecule to get into your cell, like it needs to be like energized. And that's kind of what the minerals do. So drink your water, eat real whole foods, go to sleep by 11 p.m. at least. I aim for 10, but like I get it. Life is crazy. Get your 8 hours. And you are moving your body, you're taking care of yourself, whatever. Then we can go into the supplements. I see so many people that are living, going out on the weekends, drinking their margaritas and not sleeping and eating French fries for dinner and no protein. And they're like, what supplements should I take? You can't out supplement a lifestyle that is not healthy. You just can't. And so I would say supplements that I am genuinely obsessed with and like would work for the company, love them so much. First things first, PC Body Bio. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay,
I'm a huge
so
Promix girl. Have you heard of Promix?
I do like Promix.
Okay.
Promix, shout out Promix, their hibiscus flavored new like
I haven't
G-Bloat.
tried it yet. Good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Also send some to Georgia. And I would say those two. And then castor oil packs.
Okay.
Castor oil packs, hexane free, organic. I use Queen of Thrones brand. And genuinely, castor oil packs are going to change your life. It's going to help with detoxing excess hormones, excess estrogen, whatever. Uh,
And
Go ahead.
are we doing the full belly wrap for your casserole pack? Or
Yeah.
like
Oh,
usually
yeah.
the casserole, like there's the little like patch you
No,
put over your belly button?
I think
No,
that
we're
is
full wrap around.
full wrap. I would
Okay.
say do the full wrap 2 to 3 times a week. And then if you want to do the belly button on the other nights, go for it. But the full wrap is where it's at.
And are you sleeping in your full wrap?
I do.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. I do. And then 100% cotton, like clothing, like Mate the Label. I just saw a new one that I wanted to try, but I love Vuori right now. I don't know if
Okay.
you guys are Vuori people. That's not really a supplement, but I mean, it's going to get you to the gym. So, and CSB Liaison, the label. Do you wear them? Oh, so good.
I'm a huge Shot Vitality girl. Have you
Oh, I
tried Shot
love
Vitality?
Shop Vitality. I haven't gotten to sit there for a while. I should look. Okay. Yeah, you always post about their leggings, don't you? Okay. And I feel like we have similar
Yes, their
bodies,
leggings are
so
my
I need
absolute
to.
favorite. Their sports bras, it's not enough coverage for
Yeah.
me. I love you, Shot Vitality, but sports bras, we gotta get some.
Yeah. Like, do you need pads?
I just need like
Coverage.
I'm like, wow, like something bad's about to happen here. Like I'm about to
Okay.
call the scene if
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
in that
Okay.
sports bra. But their
Fair.
leggings and their biker shorts are top tier. Like
Okay. Noted.
unbeatable. Yeah.
Creatine, I would say, is another one
I'm
that
a
I
huge creatine
love.
believer.
Not the creatine gummies, like straight up creatine. We don't need the extra 4 grams of sugar that they're putting in those creatine gummies.
I've made my dad start taking creatine,
Yeah.
not necessarily for like the muscular benefits, but the people don't understand the mental and the cognitive.
Believe me, I had my creatine today before this. Like, it
Yes.
works. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Mom, Dad, you're both taking it. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
I've got the
fabulous.
whole fam on it. Yeah.
Other things, I'm trying to think. If you can't tell, I actually am not like a supplement junkie. I will never, ever, ever go supplements first
I
because
agree.
in my healing journey and the different practitioners I worked with, they were like, here's 12 supplements to treat your candida. Here's 12 supplements to do this. Well, you just need to take this. And I'm like, okay, but why is this happening? What is the root of the problem? The only other thing I would say is, have you heard of inositol powder?
No.
Okay. So that's really, really, really fabulous for ovarian health. PCOS girlies, everyone should be using it if you have PCOS. It helps balance blood sugar. There's B6 in it. Yeah, it's like a miracle worker,
Okay, so if
truly.
I'm at a very healthy place with my hormones, like, have a very healthy period,
Yeah.
very regular, feel like I'm just in a healthy spot in that
Yeah.
stage of my life. Would that be a supplement that would still be beneficial to me even if I'm in a healthy place?
Uh, no, I don't think you need it right now. But, like, say you were trying to conceive, like, next year, like, if you wanted to have a baby, it'd be a good one to add in. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're yeah,
We're
if you're not there
we're down the ways.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, me too, me too. But I am taking it right now for my cycle. I've dealt with some irregular cycles, and it really helps with that. So,
Okay,
yeah,
good to know.
yes. I'm trying to think, like, do you have a product you have a question on?
Not necessarily. I can go rapid fire just to finish us off. I think the girls
Yeah.
will think it's helpful. You can go like worth the hype, not worth the hype.
Okay,
Red
perfect.
light therapy.
Okay.
Like the red light therapy mask, worth the hype, not worth the hype.
Yes, worth the hype.
Love. Okay. Vibration plate.
Yes, I would say so, but you can also get the same benefit by jumping up and down 50 times in the morning.
Okay.
So
Matcha.
I don't have one, but I will like, I jump every morning.
Good to know. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I know I've literally thought about like buying like a little mini tramp and doing like
Do it. Yeah.
yes. Matcha. What do you think about the matcha trend?
I will never be a matcha girl, but that's because I don't love matcha, especially if someone is dealing with like gut issues or histamine intolerance. Matcha is not a great option. But if you're working on your nervous system and trying to not drink as much caffeine and you enjoy matcha, I think it's fab.
Okay. What are your thoughts real quick on like energy drinks? Like
No,
caffeine? No. Okay.
no. If you want an energy drink, buy the Pro Mix hibiscus flavored de-bloat and just put it in your water. It's going to taste really good and you're going to enjoy it and you're going to be fine and you don't need the energy. If you need the energy, you can make a coffee or make a matcha or get a tea or something.
Okay. Good to know. Let's think. One final one here. Are we ready? Okay, this is gonna be a fun one
Okay.
with our workout era. Capris are coming back in style. Are you for the capris or no?
I don't know because I haven't tried them on, but like I love how they look on other people. I'm like, okay, you look so cute. I just don't know if like my legs are a little short. So I'm like, is this going to be cute or am I going to look, you know?
I just think it's so funny that it's coming back because, like, I have pictures of me in, like, elementary school with
Yeah.
my capris on,
Yeah.
and now that they're coming back and, like, I'm like, "Wow, I'm being so influenced." Like, I've had them in my cart, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Don't know."
Where are you going to get them from?
Shop Vitality.
Okay. Maybe I'll order some from there too.
Yeah.
I
You can
feel
try.
like I feel like I'm going to order a pair because they are really cute. I'm really into the fold over right now, like the fold over situation.
Yes.
Um Just it's, like, so cute. I actually feel like I look better in low rise than high rise. So, yeah, I don't know. The fold over waistband is so cute to me.
Love. Okay. Well, Bailey, I have so enjoyed our time today. I want you to tell the girls where they can find you, your businesses, anything they need to know about you.
Yeah,
Let them know.
amazing. Okay, thanks for listening, everyone. You can find me on Instagram at basics times bay, and I'm on TikTok at that as well. And yeah, from there, I have Health and Social Club linked in my bio. And if you're ever in Minnesota, and hopefully we're going to be branching out of Minnesota soon, stay tuned. But yeah, I would love to connect with you guys. Message me on Instagram if you listen to this. And if you ever have a question about hormones, fertility, gut health, energy, building your dream life, you know where to find me. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Bailey. I'm so excited for the girls just to dive in after hearing this conversation, just to dive into more of your content, follow you, and get to learn from you just through the world of social media.
Thank you. So sweet.